Williams isn't really attractive this year, and it's mostly due to the fact that Latifi is always in the negative spotlight. The Canadian driver could be out of the sport soon rather than later, as the team has been connected to Piastri. The Alpine reserve driver could gather his first 2 years of experience in Williams before going to Alpine, and the young core of Piastri and Albon may well raise the bar of expectations of this team. However, nothing is certain yet, and prior to the Silverstone GP, it seems like the team has decided to copy a proven design of the car just to try and pick up some points as they did on 2 occasions so far. Want to find out what copies did Williams do on their car? Stick around till the end of this video to reveal. Spoiler alert, they didn't upgrade both of their cars. The team has struggled this season just like in the previous ones. They haven't seen good results in the constant points finished since Stroll and Massa raced for the team, where Stroll was able to finish on the podium in Baku. Since then, the team had struggled to even remain relevant in the sport, let alone score points. Last year was a very good year for Williams, and it was an exception to the miserable previous seasons that Williams experienced. George Russell was able to qualify P2 in Spa, and due to the rain, the race wasn't held and the drivers were given the qualifying places as their finishing ones. The team has also scored points in Hungary, and they managed to gather some momentum for the 2022 season. With the departure of Russell to Mercedes and Albon replacing him after pausing a whole season from the sport. Now, Albon is the main guy in Williams, and he's been able to score 3 points for the team. One of the points was in Australia, when Albon managed to run the whole race with one set of tires and changed them at the penultimate lap because of the rules that oblige you to do so. The 2 points were scored in Miami, and what's more depressing for Williams is that Latifi wasn't able to keep up with Albon at any given time. Now that Albon was impressive in all races, to be honest, but he's still fighting for podium finishes, and in Montreal he managed to go into the quarter-2 part of the qualifications. You're probably wondering, why are we doing a recapitulation of the Williams driver season so far? Well, it's because the upgrade that they're bringing to Silverstone will only be applied to Albon's car. And you're probably wondering, why isn't Latifi receiving the same chance as Albon? The answer is simple. It's because he cannot keep the car long enough on the track so that the team will be able to gather data. Either he'll run dead last and without pace, or he'll crash or retire in the race, and the money will be spent for nothing. And remember, teams are really struggling for money now due to the budget cap, so it's not like they can experiment with anything they please. So why is Williams copying Red Bull in design? Remember that Aston Martin did the same in Barcelona, but received no boost in the performance, as both of their drivers failed to pass Q1 on Saturday and didn't score points on Sunday either. One of the reasons why is that they've copied just the exterior part of the car, while they did little to no changes to the underbody of the car. However, the FIA has ruled the changes as legal ones, as it seems like Aston Martin had a similar concept design to Red Bull ready last year in October. It's just that they haven't released it up until now. Back to Williams we go. The team is desperate to score points, and although they did score 3 points through Albon this season, they're still dead last in the standings. So what did the team change to their car? The external airflow stream is the one that'll be affected the most by these changes, but Williams is also doing changes to the floor of the car in order to accommodate the changes each other. The car's design has a heavy influence not just by Red Bull but by Ferrari too. This is why the side pods have been altered completely, as they're kind of a mix between the top 2 performing constructors this year, with a bigger emphasis on Red Bull's design concept. But the design of the downwashing ramp solution that has allowed RB18 to be as superior as they're now, along with the side pod concept, aren't the only things that are looking very similar in the Williams' newly designed car. The inlet, undercut, and flank shapes are pretty much the same compared to the F175 car of the Ferrari, as they are with wide but shallow mouth design that's used to supply cool air to the radiators housed within. This has caused multiple other modifications just for the fact that these upgrades need to be synchronized and to work to perfection. This is why the radiators, various coolers, electronics, and other ancillaries have undergone modifications, not only in order that the side pod bodywork can be adjusted, but the engine cover could be redesigned too. Beneath the engine cover, there were a pair of coolers laid over the top of the power unit. That was prior to these upgrades, as now there's just one cooler, which takes up the position that we're used to seeing not only in Red Bull's car but in McLaren and AlphaTauri too. If you take out the side pod designs and the engine cover bodywork and compare it to prior to their fitting in their car, you can see the major difference in the 2 configurations. Now with the new layout below, a much longer and wider side pod's bodywork is featured in the Williams car. The engine cover is much slimmer behind the airbox, which is because of the changes that have been made to the size and position of the internal components. As we mentioned earlier in this video, the floor has been treated to a design overhaul, as the FW44 is now equipped with a very different set of floor strakes on the leading edge of the underfloor tunnel. Meanwhile, the triangular-shaped floor edge wing has been discarded in favor of bringing the floor arc forward and altering its geometry. Due to the budget cap and due to the fact that Latifi is a very reliable driver, the upgrades will be fitted in Albon's car only. Currently, the team is hoping for Albon to score decent points, as the flat surface track will be much easier one to glide through compared to the city tracks that the cars were struggling much onto. This will only fuel the talks that Latifi started last week, as he said that he believes that his car isn't the same as Albon, and cannot believe how big of a difference there is between his and Albon's car. For sure, at the beginning of the season, there was part of that, and you could maybe still attribute some of the lap time delta to that. For me, looking far beyond that and past any of the confidence limitations that I feel I was having in the beginning, the pace would just not be there. There are situations where I just don't feel that my car is capable of doing what I see it's doing on the data, which is not a nice feeling to be in. It's a bit puzzling. But again, we'll use this 2-week break to see what we can analyze, said Latifi after the Montreal GP. Well, it seems like problems like this will not be fixed for Latifi this weekend too. He will race with the same car he raced previously, and by these moves, it seems like Williams is ready to let go of Latifi and his dad as the main sponsor of the team through his company Safina. So it seems like an interesting weekend is ahead of us, and Williams is the one we should pay attention to. Maybe they won't be in the points, but we should look after their pace and see if they found a little bit more in it to fight with their rivals. As of now, it seems like everyone is very ahead of him in terms of pace and performance. Yet, surprises can happen, and Williams did everything in their power to try and score some points in Silverstone, and now it's up to the drivers' duo, more precisely to Albon, to try and bring so much valued points to the team. What do you think is the next move for Williams? Do you think that they will be able to claim some points in Silverstone? Or do you think that the last two places are inevitable for them, and they should rebuild from scratch with Piastri and Renault engines likely to be mounted in Williams from the next year? Let us know in the comments below.